What's going on, guys? This is the Talking Sports Podcast with Adam and Alec. This is episode 35. Tonight, we're going to be continuing talking about the NBA playoffs, breaking down the first round, and we're excited to see how this NBA playoff keeps on going. It's been a great start. There's been a lot of exciting games and a couple close series and two that are kind of blowouts, but we'll get to talking about those. So, Alec, you want to start us off with what's your biggest takeaway from the first week, I guess, of the NBA playoffs?
Boston is very, very good. And Philadelphia is also very, very good.
Yeah.
Also, Steph Curry might mess around and win Sixth Man of the Year next year. I mean, just lead off with that. Because, Boston playing against Brooklyn in the first round, they're already up 2-0 with a close 1-point win in the game one and then a 7-point win in game two. This Boston team is really, really good, honestly. Like, defensively, they are smothering KD and Kyrie. And then the second thing I said was Philadelphia is really, really good. They're already up 3-0. Haven't really – well, I guess they struggled the third game. They went to overtime last night. They won by 3 on a Joel Embiid turnaround three-pointer. But games 1 and 2, they won by 20 and 15.
Yeah.
So we knew game 3 and 4 would be tougher because it's in Toronto. But Philadelphia looking like the early favorite, like I picked last week. And then the last thing I said was Steph Curry. He's coming off the bench. He's on a minutes limit right now. I guess he's dealing with a kind of a lingering injury, but he's going off. Golden State's going off. Jordan Poole going off. Everybody is going off like they expected to. But you mentioned we'll talk about every series in this podcast. So the first series, I'll just start from the top of the Eastern Conference. Miami and Atlanta, the 1-8 matchup. Miami's already up 2-0. They won by 24.
First game? Yeah.
24 and then 10 the second game. Jimmy Butler went off for 45 in game 2. The dude is insane when it's playoff time. You can go full regular season, not really think about Jimmy Butler. But when playoff time hits, especially in the bubble a couple years ago, the dude is a different guy. He is a dog in the playoffs. What's your biggest takeaway from this series?
Yeah, Jimmy Butler, his game 2 performance was insane. I got to watch like the last 6 minutes of this game, and he was hitting every single shot he took. I feel like they've really contained Trae Young as well. He's still dropping 25 points, but he was only 2 for 10 from 3 in game 2, which obviously we know that's not normal for Trae Young to miss 8 threes. They're really good offensively, really good defensively. This Heat team is really dangerous, and I don't know if they're going to end up sweeping the Hawks, because I think the Hawks are a good team too, and they're not going to go down without a fight, and they're going back home, which that game should be tomorrow if I'm correct, right?
Game 3, yes. Friday.
Yeah, game 3 is tomorrow. So that'll be another good game to watch. But I think the Heat will probably win this in 5. That's 5 or 6.
Yeah, I think my biggest takeaway, other than the Heat are really, really good, is Trae Young struggling.
Yeah.
Like, he doesn't have a lot of help, but this is a hot team that Young led in points and assists, and he's getting smothered right now. So if they want to take one, he's going to have a huge game in game 3 or 4. If he doesn't, I got the Heat sweeping him.
Yeah. It'll be interesting to see, because if you remember the Hawks team of last season, who went to the Eastern Conference Finals, if I remember right, and they just went off in playoff time. So it'll be interesting to see if they can get back to that. But this Miami team looks like one of the best teams in the East.
Yeah. So the next matchup, we have the 2-7 matchup. Boston and Brooklyn. Boston is so stifling on defense.
Yes.
They win game 1 by a point. They win game 2 by 7. Kevin Durant struggled both games. Kyrie's having issues with the fans. What else is new? And another, I guess, kind of the main storyline out of this series, other than Boston just dominating, is Ben Simmons rumored to return in game 4. So you're looking at this, if Brooklyn can somehow take game 3, and if Simmons returns game 4, this could be a different series, all in all. Because, I mean, he's not a great shooter, but he is a very good playmaker and defensive guy. And he's just another option to kind of spread it out,
Yeah.
But I don't know. Boston looks very, very good.
Yeah, I agree. You mentioned that 1-point win, which would have been on Sunday. And the way they won was crazy. Jason Tatum's buzzer beater layup for the win.
Yeah.
That was just a crazy way. And if that doesn't go down, I mean, we're sitting here tied 1-1, and that's a whole different series because now the Nets are in a must-win game in game 3, obviously. And getting Simmons back, if he comes back in 4, if they can somehow squeak out game 3, getting Simmons back could switch the momentum back to their side in game 4 and for the rest of the series. I personally don't see it happening. This Celtics team is legit, really good on defense. Jason Tatum has been lighting it up both games. And I still think Boston will take care of things. Yeah, that's all I got on that.
So the next series is the Milwaukee Bucks and the Chicago Bulls. This is the 3-6 matchup. This is actually the first series that's tied 1 apiece. Milwaukee took a very defensive struggle first game, 93-86. Chicago bounced back game 2 with a 4-point win over Milwaukee. So Chicago does what every lower seed wants to do, and that's to win game 1 or 2.
Yeah.
That's on the road. Then you're coming back home. You have 2 games at home. That gives you the home court advantage.
Definitely.
However, bad news for the Bucks. Chris Middleton went down. Bobby Portis also went down. I haven't heard anything about either one of those guys. But if you don't have Chris Middleton, Middleton was a shooter. Giannis isn't a known shooter, but Middleton was a dude that he could score and shoot. Yeah. So Milwaukee, if they want to repeat, they need a healthy Chris Middleton. Kind of proved that last year in the playoffs. And on the flip side, DeMar DeRozan had a terrible game 1, bounced back, game 2, got the dub.
Yeah, DeRozan went off in game 2, and that was really the reason, dropping 41. And, I mean, he really just took over towards the end of the game, and that's how Chicago was able to squeak out the 4-point win. This is a really intriguing series. Like you said, I mean, we talked about it last week, how Chicago's really been a dangerous team all year. I think halfway through the season, they were the 1 seed. They were the 1 seed for a while, with how crazy DeRozan's played all year. And this is a really intriguing matchup. Now with even more with the injuries to Portis, like you said, and Middleton. And I think the Bucks are in trouble if they cannot get those guys back healthy. And I mean, I could honestly see Chicago winning the series because of that, if they're out for the rest of the series. I think Milwaukee's a better team still, but there's only so much Giannis can do, So I think that really puts the favor in the Bulls' hands. Obviously, going back home, they did their job. You just got to win 1 on the road. And realistically, you want to win at least. I mean, you got to win at least 1 of these at home. But if you win 2, I mean, that puts you in the driver's seat. So it'll be interesting to see how the rest of that series goes.
Definitely. That leads us to the final first-round matchups in the Eastern Conference between the 76ers and the Raptors. This is the 4 or 5. Seeding-wise, it's supposed to be the best series on paper with the 2 closest teams. However, this has not been that at all.
No.
Game 1, Philly took it by 20. Game 2, Philly took it by 15. Game 3, Philly took it by 3 thanks to an overtime 3 made by Joel Embiid, who actually became the first center since Shaquille O'Neal to claim the scoring title. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, that is really cool.
However, this was a game that Toronto led almost the whole game. They just ended up dropping the ball. And you mentioned going to this down 2-0, you really needed game 3. Being down 2-0 and 3-0, two different ball games. I'd rather be down 2-1 than 3-0 because you at least have one under your belt. You have another game at home coming up. You can split the series there, and then it becomes a best of 3.
Yeah.
Now they're definitely against they're backed up against the ball big time here, down 3-0. It's only happened a couple of times in sports where you come back down from 3-0. Most notably the 0-4 Sox against the Yankees. And I
Great
guess
series. Great series.
And so yeah, definitely if you're a Raptor fan, you've got to be feeling desperate at this point. You need a miracle. Likely not going to happen. Other notable things come out of this series real quick. Embiid still talking trash like he always does.
Yep.
Talk trash to Drake after the game. He told Nurse to stop complaining about the refs, which is the Toronto head coach. And then Maxey went off for 38 points in the Game 1 win. And we mentioned Toronto still having the strict COVID rules. Thibault was not able to play in Toronto. Maybe that's only why it was a 3-point win. Maybe not. But they don't have to worry about that much longer. Toronto will be out of this within the next 2 games.
You think it's a sweep?
It very well could be a sweep.
Yeah,
I could see it being a sweep.
I could see it, but I could also see Toronto winning Game 4, just because they're defending their home court. But you mentioned a good point, how the difference between 3-0 and 2-1. 2-1 gives you life, gives you a little bit of hope. It gives you a spark. And then knowing that you have another home game coming up, the next game, like that gets you fired up. Now sitting down 3-0, you're in the impossible hole looking up, and you're not going to get out of that, honestly. Let's be real.
Yeah, there's two different feelings. The 2-1, you're like, you got energy, you're like, okay, we got this. 3-0, you're just depressed.
Oh, yeah.
Because you know it's not going to happen.
And you know Embiid's coming back for blood after what happened in 2019 when Kawhi hit that the Game 7 winner in his face. And then they ended up winning the championship. So you know he's got some bad blood with Toronto. So he wants to get that settled quickly, I'm sure.
Yeah. I love how Joel Embiid talks trash. I love it. That wraps up the Eastern Conference. Do you have anything else you want to add to that before we jump over the West?
Oh, no, that's it. Really, the best series is Bulls-Bucks. The rest of blowouts so far.
So jumping over to the Western Conference, our first matchup is the 1-8 matchup. Phoenix taking on the Pelicans. This, strangely enough, is tied at a game apiece. Phoenix took Game 1 by 11, and then they dropped Game 2 by 11. The notable things about this, we'll start with the Pelicans. Brandon Ingram, he dropped 37 points in Game 2. I don't think he does that the rest of the series, but that obviously helped him win that second game. And the bigger news is Booker is likely to miss Game 3 and 4 with a mild hamstring strain.
He's supposed to be out 2 to 3 weeks, from what I heard today.
Okay.
So that could even play into the next series if they get out of this.
I still think they're good enough to get out of this round with Chris Paul.
Yeah, I agree.
We've seen what Chris Paul can do. I mean, look at the Thunder in 2020.
Yeah, exactly.
But no, definitely, if you're going to lose a guy to injury, you definitely want it in the first round.
Yeah.
Especially when you're a 1 seed. So hopefully this isn't a lingering injury where it just affects the whole playoff run. Hopefully it's just a couple day, like, oh, tweaked it. We're good to go, though.
Yeah. And in the game he got hurt in Game 2, he was going off. Booker was going off. He had 31 at half.
Mhm.
I mean, and then he tweaked it midway through the third. So there's no telling what he would have done if he was able to finish the game healthy.
Yeah, this Phoenix team is definitely the team to beat when they're healthy. And it was after a chase down block attempt. So note to yourself, kids, don't play defense.
Another guy that one more thing with the Pelicans, CJ McCollum, obviously being traded from Portland. He's been with Dame forever, and now he gets away from Portland. And I mean, he's had a good first two games as well. I mean, CJ McCollum's always been dangerous, so that's another guy to watch for the Pelicans if they want to do something.
Yeah, I still have Phoenix taking it probably 6 games now.
Yeah, I could see it going to 6 or 7 now with the injury to Booker, but I think Phoenix is the much better team, and they'll take care of it.
All right, so the second matchup is Memphis and Minnesota. This is a 2-7 matchup. Minnesota shocked us all. They won game 1 by 13.
Yeah.
Memphis bounced back hugely in game 2, winning by 32, 28, 28.
28, yeah.
Math, it's tough. But game 2 is definitely the Memphis team that we've seen most of the year. Game 1, what I noticed was Steven Adams cannot play this series. He's not able to stick with Cat.
No.
And if they switch, he's definitely not able to stick with any of the quicker guys like Anthony Edwards. So, and the cool thing about this Memphis team is everything is centered around Ja. And then they have 11 other dudes that they can plug in how they need to for a certain series.
Yeah.
So like this series and next series are going to be 2 different lineups that he runs out there. And Steven Adams probably won't play much more this year or this series. He might play 40 minutes each game next series. It's insane how good this Memphis team is without being good, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I feel it.
But obviously this series split 1-1. I think Memphis takes – I want to say they take the next 2, but they'll probably take 1 of 2, and they'll finish it back out at game 5.
Memphis did just win game 3, also by 9.
They took game 3. So
that
they're
just
now up.
Happened like 10 minutes ago. But yeah.
So they're now up 2-1. I don't know. This could finish in 5 games.
You think? Really?
Yeah, I think it could. I mean, what was the score tonight? They won by 9?
Yeah.
Yeah, they'll win in 5. I got Memphis in 5.
I'll take Memphis in 6. I could see it going to 7, though, but I'm going to stick with 6. Like you said, Minnesota kind of shocked this game 1. I think Memphis came out slow. I want to say Ja sat out. Ja was out like the last month of the season, wasn't he? He was out a bunch of games toward the end of the season, wasn't he?
Yeah, something like that.
I feel like they just came out slow. They were overhyping everything, and not just focusing on the fundamentals and playing ball. But obviously, the last 2 games, I've gotten back to that. I can see it going to 6.
And another thing you need to keep an eye on is the Grizzlies play so fast, and it never fails. When you get deeper in the playoffs, the tempo slows down, and that kind of hurts the fast-paced teams.
Yeah.
So that could be something to keep an eye on as maybe even next round, or if Minnesota makes an adjustment, they go super slow, like what Memphis used to do back when they were the grinding defensive teams.
Yeah.
That's something to keep an eye on. But I still have them winning this in 5. Next up is the 3-6 matchup. It's the Warriors and the Nuggets. The Warriors taking games 1 and 2 easily, 123-107 and 126-106. Steph Curry on a minute limit right now. He went off for 34 in game 2. He went off for close to 30 in game 1, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
But it's never good to be down 0-2 if you're Denver. The good news is you're coming back home. The bad news is you're still playing Golden State.
Yeah. And they're already out to a 7-point lead, 15-8 in the first quarter.
Now, let me tell you, though, this death lineup, quote unquote, for Golden State with Curry, Poole, Thompson, Wiggins, and Draymond Green.
Yeah.
That is lethal.
Yes, it is.
Very lethal. I don't think they'll get away with it if they get to the finals against Philly.
Yeah.
Because Philly has Embiid.
Right.
But that
Or
is
Boston.
lethal, at least in the Western Conference.
Yeah.
Because I can't think the best center in the Western is Nikola Jokic. And they can't seem to stop this death lineup. So
Nope.
I don't know. Golden State might be the team coming out of the West if Booker can't get healthy.
They really could. And I think they're going to sweep the Nuggets.
Oh, easily.
Yeah.
That's going to be a clean sweep.
Yeah, I agree.
You said Game 3 just started. Game 4 will be Sunday at 3:30 Eastern Time. Yeah, so Denver will be out of it by 6 o'clock Sunday afternoon.
We can both agree on that.
100%. And then that brings us to our final series, the 4 or 5 matchup, Dallas and Utah. This is split at a game apiece. Utah took a very low-scoring Game 1, 99-93. Dallas bounced back Game 2, won it by 6. Luka, you mentioned, wasn't playing either game, but he was quoted as feeling good after practice. Optimistic about a Game 3 return, which is
He's not playing tonight.
not playing.
They're at halftime right now, 68-51 Mavericks.
Dallas will win Game 3.
Yeah. And so if you're Dallas, you don't want to rush Luka if you're winning fine without him.
Right.
You want to rest him and have him 100% for if you need him in a Game 5 or rest him up for the next series, But you saw how Dallas struggled in Game 1 without Luka, and then Brunson dropped like 41.
Yeah.
Maxi Kleber, I can't ever say his name. He had like he had like 8 threes in Game 2. He was going off, and they're dominating the game right now. So we see how good this Mavs team is, even without Luka. I could see them being a dangerous team for anybody as well when Luka comes back. Mavs, I predicted wrong a little bit because I said Luka would be out Game 1, and then they come back and win in 5. If I remember correctly, that's what I said. I could still see the Mavs winning in 5. Just I got the prediction of Luka coming back in Game 2 wrong.
I think Dallas will win it in 6. I think they'll take Game 3, but Utah takes 4. And then Dallas will win the next 2 to win it 4-2.
Yeah.
But, I mean, if it's going a game back and forth, it could go 7. I don't think it's going to go 7, though.
I could see it going 7. Even though I hope it goes 5 for my prediction.
Right. Trying to think if there's any other big storylines from the playoffs so far. Can't think of any.
Really, the big one I feel like is Booker's injury.
Mm-hmm. We mentioned the bad blood between Chicago and Milwaukee last week.
Yeah.
And that series is phenomenal.
Great series.
So I guess we'll get to our trivia time.
Yep.
And this week is a little different. Adam has the quiz, and it's a timed quiz, so we're going to have to fast pace it. I think it's 20 questions. We probably be able to do all 20 since it's pretty fast paced.
And I just clicked start, so we're going to have to go now.
Yeah, let's go.
Who holds the NBA record for the most postseason points in their career? LeBron, Jordan, Kareem, or Kobe?
Jordan.
I'm going to go with Jordan as well. Wrong. It's LeBron.
Of course it is. We suck, dude. I wish
that's
TikTok
annoying.
Worked.
Who holds the NBA record for the most three-pointers during a single postseason game? Ray Allen, Curry, Lillard, Thompson.
Thompson.
It's Thompson. No, it's Damian Lillard.
I almost said Dame, but I'm like, no, it's Clay.
I could have swore it was Clay. All right, 0 for 2.
That's always good.
All right. How many titles did the do the Lakers and Celtics have between them? 34, 30, 26, and 38. Oh my goodness.
34. I'm pretty sure it's 17-17.
Yeah. I know the Lakers have Celtics have 17, right?
Yeah, it's 30.
Okay, we got to pick one. I got 3 seconds.
You pick
30. I'll
30.
pick 30.
I said 32.
It was 34. You said 34 at first. I'll give that to you.
out of it though.
I'll give it to you. I'll give it to you. I'll give it to you.
Okay.
Which team failed to win in the NBA Finals during the 2015-16 season, despite having the greatest regular season record, 73-9 of all time?
That's easy. Cleveland.
You're
Check.
wrong. It's Golden State.
Oh, I don't know why I said Cleveland. That's the one that won it. I knew it was the Warriors because Cleveland beat them in the finals.
Yeah, they blew the 3-1 lead.
Yeah.
That's tough.
I don't know why I said Cleveland. I've been blanking on names all day.
There's a blooper for TikTok.
Oh, yeah. Good thing TikTok doesn't work. I knew
Hopefully
it
we'll
was
get that fixed. All right, question 5. Which American sports commentator is famous for shouting "bang" upon a big shot being made? Mike Breen, Mark Jackson, Dick Vitale, or Stacey King?
What was the first name?
Mike Breen, Mark Jackson, Dick Vitale, and Stacey King.
Mark Jackson.
I'm going Mike Breen. It's Mike Breen.
I don't know why that name does not sound familiar. Like I hear it in my head, but that name just does not ring a bell.
I knew it wasn't Vitale, King, and I knew it wasn't Jackson, so I had to narrow it down.
Well,
All
I know
right,
it wasn't.
I've got 2. All right, question 6. Which NBA team dominated the league in the 90s, winning 6 championships with 2 three-peats? We all know this.
Bulls.
Yes.
I said the right name this time.
No, it's the Jazz. No, I'm kidding.
Don't do that to me.
All right. Question 7. Which of these NBA Hall of Famers never won a ring? Charles Barkley, Hakeem Olajuwon, Isaiah Thomas, or Shaquille O'Neal?
Shaq has one. Isaiah Thomas. Bad Boys had one, right?
I'm going with Barkley.
Wait, Phoenix. Yeah, Barkley, Phoenix.
It's Barkley. All right.
I forgot he was on Phoenix.
Question 8. Which NBA player holds the record for most single points in a single game? Most single in a single postseason game. Sorry, most points
postseason game
in one postseason game. Donovan Mitchell, LeBron James, Elgin Baylor, or Michael Jordan? I'm going Jordan.
Jordan.
It's Jordan.
Yeah, that was a question on last week's.
Yeah. Question 9. Which NBA player holds the record for most free throws made in a single postseason game? Karl Malone, Bob Cousy, Dirk Nowitzki, or Shaq?
That's not Shaq.
Wow.
Oh.
I'm going to say
Bob Cousy.
I'll go Dirk. You'll go Bob?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to go with Dirk. It's Bob.
Is that 6 or 7?
I've got 5.
I think I'm at. We'll say 5.
So 5 and 5?
Yeah.
All right. Are we wanting to do all 20 since we're rolling through these or just do 10? Okay. So this is question 10. Which NBA Hall of Famer once grabbed a record 41 rebounds in a single postseason game? Wilt Chamberlain, Dennis Rodman, Charles Barkley, or Bill Russell? Gosh, I feel like it's either Wilt or Bill Russell. I'm going to say Bill Russell.
I'll go Wilt.
It's Wilt.
6.
Man. Which NBA player has won the most championship rings? Jordan, John Havlicek, Sam Jones, or Bill Russell? Bill Russell.
Yes. You look frozen. That's why I looked at him like.
I was waiting for you just to
Oh,
make sure.
okay. Because
I
you
was
were
going to see
moving
if
it
you
on.
said
Like,
Jordan. All right. In Game 5 of the 1987 Eastern Conference Finals between the Detroit Pistons and the Boston Celtics, who did Larry Bird steal the inbound pass from before delivering the game-winning assist? Dennis Rodman, Isaiah Thomas, Bill Laimbeer, and Joe Dumars. I'm going to say Isaiah Thomas.
Dumars.
You said who?
The last one.
Dumars.
Dumars.
It was Thomas.
He stole it from Thomas or the?
Yeah.
Oh.
I'm sorry. I'm having to read these so quick because the dumb timer.
I was thinking like he stole it from the inbound pass. I didn't think. Oh, well.
Yeah, it stole from the inbound. Sorry, we had to rush through that.
Okay.
Yeah, it was Thomas. I got 7. What are you at?
I think I'm at 7 because I had one more than you until that.
Yeah, 7 and 7. It's a tight one here. All right, question 13. Which NBA coach has won the most championships? Pat Riley, Phil Jackson, Red Auerbach, or Greg Popovich? I'm going Phil Jackson.
Yeah, Phil Jackson.
That's correct.
Okay, so we're at 8.
Yep.
We need to get to 12 to pass this test.
Yes, we do.
D's get degrees.
14. In Game 4 of the 1980 NBA Finals between the Lakers and the 76ers, which Hall of Famer scored a reverse layup after jumping from behind the basket? Bobby Jones, Julius Erving, Magic Johnson, or Kareem? Dr. J.
Yeah.
It's Dr. J. That's 9 for us, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Question 15. Yep. Which NBA player, along with John Stockton, holds the record for most assists in a single postseason game? Ooh, this will be tough. Doc Rivers, Magic Johnson, Rajon Rondo, or Steve Nash? Oh my goodness.
That might be Rajon Rondo.
I think it could be. I think it could be Rondo.
Because I know he went off one game a while ago in the playoffs.
I'll guess Rondo.
Yeah, I'm going Rondo too.
It's Magic. Dang it!
I almost
said
so
Magic.
bad.
I almost said Magic.
It was gonna be Magic till I heard Rondo. I'm like Rondo.
Yeah. So we're still stuck at 9. 16. Which NBA player holds the record for most steals in a single postseason game? Allen Iverson, Tim Hardaway, James Harden, or Russell Westbrook?
AI.
I feel like it has to be AI. I don't think it would be Harden or Westbrook.
I'll go AI.
I'm gonna go AI as well. Yep.
Right.
So we at least have a 50, much better than last week. 10 to 10. Yep. 17. True or false? There is a team that has 2 different players. True or false? There has been a team that has had 2 different players record triple doubles in a single postseason game. I'm gonna say false.
I'm going true because I feel like I've heard this before.
It's true. It's true. Dang.
11. Let's go. Does
Which
it say who it
NBA
was?
player? No, it didn't. It was just true or false. 18. Which NBA player has the most 40-point games in finals history? Jordan, LeBron, Shaq, or Jerry West? Oh my gosh. Jordan or LeBron?
I'm going LeBron.
I'll go Jordan. I'm gonna stick with the GOAT. It was Jerry West. Wow.
Excuse me?
Wow.
What?
Wow. I did not think that. Which legendary Los Angeles Lakers player known as the Black Mamba? What?
Kobe.
Kobe.
I got 60% on it. Yes.
Dang it. Who was the oldest player to score 50 points in a single postseason game? Sam Jones, Michael Jordan, Karl Malone, or Ray Allen?
Not Ray.
I think it's Karl or Michael.
I feel like all these questions lean towards Michael, but it's 50.
You got 5 seconds. Yeah.
Karl.
3. I'll go Jordan. It was Karl.
Boom, 65%.
Dang it. So I got 10, you got 12. Alec wins trivia once again. I am 0-3. I'm not good at trivia time.
Unofficial 65%. We need to go back and look at the questions. I'm not 100% sure. It's either 60 or 65. I know that.
That was very close, though, towards the end.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Anything else?
Man.
We got?
On the TikTok story, we can't get it to work. We had a couple nice clips ready to post last week. I went to post and it doesn't work. So still looking into it. Nothing really popping off in the baseball world besides Miguel Cabrera needs one more hit to reach 3,000.
Yep.
We have no new subscribers.
That's
sad.
tough.
In other positive news, the NFL draft is next Thursday.
Yes.
Where your boys will have the first 3 picks live because we're only doing 30 minutes.
Yeah.
So, and you mentioned we might have 2 guests next week.
Yes. Well, we should have 2 guests on. So it'll be a really fun episode. We'll get to talk about at least the first 3 picks live. And then we'll have it. Obviously, we'll do our trivia time segment. But it's going to be really fun talking about the draft. And it's really exciting times in the NFL, obviously. Crazy with the things going on with Deebo Samuel as well. I know we're not talking about the NFL, but that's some crazy things going on. It'll be interesting to see where he lands. And then we'll have the draft. So next week will be a really fun episode. Make sure you tune in for it.
Yes. And the draft is about 8 o'clock our time or 7 o'clock?
It's 7 or 8. I have to look.
I would assume it would be 7. Where are they having it at?
It's in, isn't it in Vegas?
Oh, then it might.
I think everything was in Vegas, the Pro Bowl and the draft.
It might be 8 o'clock then if it's here, because that'd be 7 o'clock there.
Yeah.
It could very well be 8 o'clock here, which would be fine. That'd be great.
Yeah, it could be 8 o'clock.
But yeah, as always, like, comment, subscribe. If you want to come on, we're willing to have you. Just shoot us a message.
Yes, we'd love to.
Trying to think. NHL playoffs starting up beginning of May, I believe.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. May and June.
I don't think we mentioned, but the USA qualified for the World Cup. Kind of in a tough pool. Could get out of it though. I'm trying to think of the Masters wrapped up.
Yeah.
And homeboy, can't think of his name.
Scheffler
won it.
Scotty. Yeah.
Scotty. After he pulled in every normal person 4-putt to win it. I saw that and said, I can win a Masters one day.
Yes, exactly.
That was every mid 20 to 30-year-old sitting at the house like, that could be me one day. No.
Relatable. We can relate.
Because you're sitting there like, I've done this every day I've golfed. And he just did it on the biggest stage.
Good thing he was ahead by more than 2 strokes.
Yeah. Can you imagine if he was only ahead by 1 or 2 and then he did that?
Oh my goodness. That would be horrible.
If you watch this and you like Formula One, me too. Pretty sure they're at Amolia this weekend. Charles Leclerc looking good to start the year.
Nice.
Mercedes, Bootios right now. Sucks because I'm a Hamilton fan. But yeah. I'm trying to bring more culture here. I don't know. I'm out of stuff, dude.
Stay tuned on our podcast. Like, comment, subscribe. Like I said, next week we'll be on for the draft. That'll be a really fun episode. And then in the following weeks, we'll talk more about NBA playoffs. And then whatever else happens, I'm sure NFL free agency and stuff will happen. NHL playoffs. We'll have a lot to talk about. So stay tuned.
For sure.
We'll see you guys next week.
Peace.